All right, number 11, we want to consider the function and we want to identify the general shape of the graph. So we have r as a function of x is equal to, and this is the greatest integer function. And so it's the step function. It's the only one of its kind that looks like this. So it's got like a bunch of little horizontal lines going up the graph. So A is going to be our best answer choice for the visual. And then part B, we want to find the length of the individual segments and then the positive vertical spacing between them. We hadn't seen transformations yet, but whenever we have, and when we begin to talk about transformations, I'm just going to give you the general form. Y equals A, then open parentheses, B x minus C, close parentheses, plus D. So each of these letters, A, B, C, and D, will transform the graph one way or another. The A and the D will affect the Y values, and then the B and the C will affect the X values. Okay, the one in parentheses affect the X. Whatever is with the X does the opposite of what you see. So if you see a minus C, that means you're looking at plus, which means it's going to move it to the right. If you see a number like 2 here, you would think times 2, it's actually going to divide it by 2, like compress it. And it will work that way in all circumstances. So it's going to be the same with this greatest integer function. So what we see is division by 3, and what we need to think about is multiplication by 3. The length is the x direction. Okay, so it's going to multiply those lines by a factor of 3. And then the vertical separation is going to be what's on the outside, which is affecting the y value. It's going to be exactly what you see, which is 4. I do want to graph this with the calculator just to kind of show you what it looks like. So here, once we put those in, it shows you the graph. But let me show you. So I'm here on my calculator, turned it on, go to y equal, and then I'm going to hit the math button. We're going to arrow over to number, and then option number 5 is the one that is going to do the greatest integer. It says INT, but that's what the calculator uses for greatest integer. So I'm going to hit 5, and then I'm just going to put X. So this is the standard graph. I'm going to graph this just so you can see, and this is the step function. So that's the parent function. Now I'm going to go back to y equal. I'm going to arrow down to y2, and then I'm going to do the function that we have, the 4 times the greatest integer function of x divided by 3. So I'm going to hit the 4 first. It's going to be on the outside, then math, then I'm going to arrow over to number, and then I'm going to hit number 5. So we have 4 times the integer function, and then I'm going to do x divided by 3, and then I'm going to close it. And then I'm going to graph, and you'll see the difference. Okay, so you can see how these lines are much longer. Okay, so it's not shorter, like it's not a third, but it's this longer, 3 times the length. And then the spacing is different because you got this line, you got this line. There's one on the x-axis, which you can't see, and then there's this line. So every 4 is going up. You can count them: 1, 2, 3, and then 4. 1, 2, 3, and then 4 between the big lines and the smaller lines. So that's how you want to input this one. This is only one that you have. So hopefully this will get you there.